Hello, this is Paul Dizino from AGR. Thank you for watching our video short series. This particular one is about Pilot Vision Plus for our Pilot Vision Plus customers. We're going to be talking about the effects of RPET on the inspections and on the process, and how to adjust for differing colors with the preforms within Pilot Vision. RPET has a very big effect on the color of the preforms because of toner that's added. That toner causes problems with process, and the use of RPET causes a lot of problems because of color. That's the purpose of the color inspection in the preform portion of the Pilot Vision Plus. The changes in color based on the toner they add can vary from batch to batch and even within a batch, and certainly from supplier to supplier. When that color changes because of the carbon black toner they put in, that can have a big effect on the process, and it can also cause a high rate of rejects because of visual inspection. So this video is aimed at how to deal with that. So first, let's take a look at two preforms. These preforms are from the same batch. They were taken from plant in production, and you can see even within a batch that you can have some pretty significant color differences. So once you see that type of thing, and if you're getting a high rate of rejects, the steps you should proceed to try and resolve that are pretty simple. The first is take a look at the statistics screen of Pilot Vision. This is going to break down the rejects that you're getting based on which camera and which specific inspection are causing those. So if it is being caused by color, you're going to see a high rate of defects due to color inspection of the preforms. So your next step would be some standard things you would want to do when you're tracking down any problem with the rejection on any vision system. So go in and make sure the light panels and the covers to the optics are all good and clean. Any sort of debris on there can lead to a high rate of rejects. Once that's done, you should always make a backup of the current job you're running, the current job setup. So any modifications you make, if you want to revert back to the original, you have a copy of that. So once those are done, you've determined it is a color rejection problem, then the next step is to take a look at some of the defects, get quality involved, because they're the ones who would be able to judge whether those colors are within an acceptable range or outside that range. So if they say yes, they are in an acceptable range, this is just because of a different batch, or possibly you got them from Amcor as opposed to Rittal, and the color shade is different, which is very common. Then the next step is to proceed to the color inspection tools within the Pilot Vision preform cameras. So when we look at the screen, within there, we have 3 different color testers. So each of those testers can be trained to a specific shade of color. When we install the systems, we set it up on the preforms that are currently running. So we use color tester 1, train it on that particular color of preform, particular shade or hue, and then it has tolerance bands for an acceptable range. So you've been running for a while, very low rejects, all of a sudden you start getting a much higher rate of rejects due to color. You should check your preform tags, find out, did you switch suppliers, is this a different batch? The next thing you would want to do is put one of those in statically from that new batch, following the instructions in the manual, and you can go in and train that on color tester 2. So you now have 2 separate color references. The original group of preforms you were running, and now this new group that's causing the high rate of rejects. The output from color testers 1, 2, and 3 go into 2 combined color testers. One just does an overall color comparison, and the other does specifically the A star, B star, which is shifted in the blue range, which is specific to what you get with the carbon black toner. That's one of the reasons that's important to look at separately. So this combines, and it basically says if any one of the 3 color testers is a pass, meaning you're getting Amcor preforms that were in color tester A as opposed to Rittal, which were in B, it's going to pass it. So once you have the second color tester programmed, you're running, and your preformed rejection rate is back down, typically below 0.1% or so, That's kind of typical for a rejection rate for any vision system. So if you're back down to the normal range, then everything's good. If sometime later you start getting an increase in rejects and you determine it's because of color, and this is a different batch or a third different supplier, now you can go into color tester 3 and do the same thing. Teach that on the new shade of color, so now you have a very broad range of acceptable preforms and colors you can use for the preform color inspection. So just to quickly review, if you have a high rate of rejects, number one, look at the statistics screen, determine which camera and inspection it's coming from. If it is the color inspection, regardless of which camera, clean your optics, take a backup of the recipe of the job setup, and then go into looking at the color testers and do a retrain of going from 1, which has already been done during installation, go to color tester 2, and then any further batches go to color tester 3. If you follow these, this will solve the problem that you have with high rate of rejects for color preforms based on different manufacturers, lots, or resins. Thank you very much, and look forward to the next installment of the AGR video shorts. Thank you.